Welcome to TechView's 10X. You know, the smartphone camera race has officially entered a completely wild new phase in 2026. And today, we're jumping right into this explainer by asking one huge burning question. Is the vivo X300 Ultra actually the ultimate camera phone? The one that's finally going to replace your DSLR, or is it just a bulky, overpriced experiment? We're going to break down the specs, the hype, and, yeah, some pretty heavy flaws to help you figure out if you should actually buy it or pass on it. Okay, so here's a quick roadmap of what we're covering today. We'll meet the device itself, weigh the massive pros against the hidden cons, check out the pricing and availability, and wrap it all up with our final verdict. All right, let's get right into it with Section 1, Meet the vivo X300 Ultra, aka the spec monster.
To kick things off, we really need to understand what makes this device tick. Vivo isn't even just calling this a phone anymore, they're pitching it as a professional V-single. Basically, it's designed to totally blur the line between a standard smartphone and a dedicated professional camera, by literally smashing through the physical barriers that usually hold mobile photography back. Just going through a rapid-fire breakdown of the hardware under the hood, you can see this thing is an absolute powerhouse. It's rocking the cutting-edge Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 processor, built on a tiny 3nm process. You're interacting with all of this through a gorgeous 6.82-inch 2K AMOLED display. And get this, it hits a blistering 144Hz refresh rate and a blindingly bright 4500 nits of peak brightness. To keep this whole beast running, it packs a massive 6600 mAh silicon carbon battery. Just to put that brute force into perspective, testing reveals it handles demanding games, like Honor of Kings, at a buttery 122 frames per second. No breaking a sweat, no overheating. It is a true flagship in absolutely every sense of the word.
200. Seriously, let that sink in. The sheer scale of the camera sensors on this phone is honestly mind-blowing. Vivo completely tossed out the idea of having wimpy secondary lenses. Instead, you're getting dual 200-megapixel lenses, one for the massive main Sony shooter and another custom Samsung sensor built specifically for the 85mm telephoto lens.
Which brings us to Section 2, the massive pros, and why folks are calling this thing a masterpiece.
Reviewers have been absolutely raving about the X300 Ultra. A lot of them are saying it's literally the most fun they've had with a smartphone camera in all of 2026. The hardware actually translates into some jaw-dropping real-world performance. Android Central didn't even try to mince words here, flat out calling these the best cameras of any 2026 flagship. And the image quality? Totally unmatched. A huge part of that magic comes from the unique 35mm focal length on the main camera. Think about it, most phones use a wider, kind of stretched out 24mm lens, right? But the 35mm gives you this really natural, beautiful storytelling perspective. It captures human stories and street photography perfectly, completely avoiding that weird edge distortion you always get with typical wide lenses. Now, check out these zoom and video superpowers. The X300 Ultra features this incredibly cool modular system where you can actually attach physical teleconverter lenses. The G2 Ultra teleconverter, that gives you a 400mm optical reach. Let's be real, standard digital zoom simply cannot match the pristine clarity of an actual physical optical structure like this. Add in gimbal-level optical image stabilization and you are capturing razor-sharp images from way far away. Plus, on the video side of things, you're getting 4K video at 120 frames per second, with Dolby Vision and 10-bit log video on all the lenses. It's basically a cinematic powerhouse right in the palm of your hand. Android police really hit the nail on the head when they noted it blurs the line between camera phone and camera. If you're a serious wildlife or aviation photographer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The depth of field, the natural background blur, and the ridiculous detail you can capture here, it's a phenomenal entry into professional-grade photography. It's like you can essentially pull a 400mm zoom lens right out of your pocket whenever you need it.
Okay, before we pull back the curtain on the drawbacks, and trust me, we need to talk about them because there are some big ones, I want to quickly remind you to visit techviews10x.com. Whether you're looking to start or grow your business online with the absolute latest tech and AI tools, it is an amazing resource. So, head on over to techviews10x.com to stay ahead of the curve.
All right, let's move into Section 3, the hidden cons. Time for a little reality check.
Because let's be honest, no device is perfect, right? No matter how staggering that spec sheet looks. Let's start with the physical footprint. Android police called it a bit too big for general, everyday use, and they really aren't kidding. Weighing in at a hefty 232 grams, this phone is a giant slab. Sure, it has a gorgeous, classic camera-inspired design, but it might just be way too thick and cumbersome if you're just looking for a standard, lightweight daily driver to slip into your jeans.
Then we run into some real usability quirks. The reality is, for all that incredible sensor power, the camera can suffer from a slow shutter speed. That makes capturing sudden, fast action shots surprisingly difficult. On top of that, lugging around that heavy G2 Ultra lens extender, that can become a frustrating daily hurdle. And here's a huge kicker. If you have the teleconverter case attached, you actually, you literally have to remove the whole case just to use your standard main camera, otherwise the case ring shows up in your frame. Also, a few reviewers pointed out that slapping a massive 400mm lens onto your phone in public to zoom into distant things can, well, give off some seriously creepy vibes. It definitely requires a totally different mindset than just casually snapping a quick pic.
So it really is a massive balancing act. On one side of the scale, you have this unbelievable technological power, unmatched physical optical zoom, a massive battery that easily lasts all day, and true cinema-grade video. But on the flip side, you're taking on some heavy physical burdens, an extremely bulky design, a sometimes painfully slow action shutter, and the super cumbersome nature of constantly screwing on and taking off lens attachments. You basically have to tolerate the hardware to get those magical shots.
Section 4. Pricing and availability. Because this level of innovation definitely comes at a cost.
Let's talk about your wallet. Breaking down the pricing, the base model, with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, starts at around $1,015. But man, the costs scale up so quickly from there. If you want to go all out and outfit yourself with a 1TB photographer kit, which includes the professional camera grip, the battery case, and the teleconverters, that whole shebang will set you back nearly $1,740. This firmly places it right in the realm of high-end, dedicated camera pricing.
But actually, here is the real catch. Even if you have the budget ready to go, availability is a massive hurdle. Vivo is only doing a limited global launch for the X300 Ultra. So while it is rolling out to select European countries and India, it is skipping the North American market entirely. Yep, no way around it. If you live in the US or Canada, getting your hands on this device, let alone dealing with the specific software and warranties, is going to be incredibly difficult.
Which brings us to our final section, the final verdict. Should you buy or pass? Here is the ultimate takeaway. You should absolutely buy this if you are a serious photography enthusiast, a content creator, or a wildlife shooter who craves an all-in-one pocket camera rig and values optical reach above everything else. For you, this is a revolutionary tool. However, you should definitely pass if you just want a lightweight, simple daily phone, or if you constantly need fast action shot performance for, say, you're running kids or pets. And obviously pass if you live in North America where you simply can't buy it easily. For the average smartphone user, this is undoubtedly a bulky, expensive overkill.
So, I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you personally ready to completely replace your dedicated camera with a smartphone? Think about whether the sheer convenience of having all this incredible tech in your phone outweighs the high cost and the literal physical bulk of carrying around modular lenses. It's a fascinating glimpse into where mobile photography is heading, for sure. Thank you so much for watching this explainer, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the video as it helps the channel.